The biggest gang on the planet. Oh my goodness. So one of the many reasons, the many reasons that I've distanced myself from the right, from the Republican Party, from what I would call the modern right, okay, is that they are very much so pro-tyranny. Unfortunate as that may be, that is what they advocate for. Whether it's DeSantis trying to enforce laws that prohibit American citizens from recording the police, to presently, trying to advocate for, if you just obey the law, if you just listen, if you just do what's right, time and time again where they vilify American citizens and then bootlick for state soldiers. That, in and of a nutshell, is unacceptable. It leads to tyranny. It leads to a police state. Now, this is something that I'm always confused with, especially given what happened during COVID when it came to the lockdowns, because they constantly want to talk about, the Democrats, but it wasn't the Democrats who were shutting down businesses. It wasn't the Democrats who were telling you, you can't open your business. You have to go home and you have to stay home. That was law enforcement. So it wasn't the Democrats who did, January 6th. Because they constantly want to say, we're political victims here. We're being politically attacked. It wasn't them. It was law enforcement. That is correct. Whether it's FBI, the state, federal, doesn't matter. That's who it was. It was law enforcement. So when I come across situations such as this, and I see people in the comments making videos and simply justifying the actions of law enforcement, it is problematic. It is un-American and antithetical to everything this country stands for. That is the most fascist, tyrannical mindset you can have, an un-American and unpatriotic mindset you can have, which is to bootlick, because that's not going to lead you to anywhere except in the gulag. I say all that to bring up this video. I came across this video on Twitter, and what it shows is this black kid in a hoodie wearing a backpack. He's minding his own business, as many of us are. As many of us are, mind our own business. He's walking down the street. Now what happens, he's in Chicago, and you have the Chicago jump out crew. These bunch of law enforcement jump out during high risk, situations or where they think something's going to go down. And they start harassing this person. They start violating this kid's, civil rights. That's what they start to do. One of the officers gets in front of him. I would argue, a lawyer could argue that's a false imprisonment. That's what they're trying to do. And then start badgering him and touching him. Then they try to get into his backpack.
Okay, that's fine.
See this?
You're on camera too. What's going on with you, man? What's up?
How y'all coming? Don't touch me, boy.
Are you good?
I'm good. Don't touch me, man.
Huh?
What you just fell on my book bag for? Is it cool?
I'm sorry, the fourth is just completely gone, right? You can't just try and force your way into my private personal stuff without any type of warrant or probable cause. And they clearly don't have probable cause because they let them be.
Is you cool? Are you good?
Don't do that, gang. Yeah, I'm good. What y'all hopping out for? Ain't got shit on me, gang. Get back.
All right. Nobody's touching me.
I don't. You is touching me. Look. You
What
can't
you
touch
got
me,
in the
gang.
bag?
None, gang. Don't touch me. Y'all pulling me over for none. Get back, gang.
Hold on, bro.
Look at them. They got some goofies.
They just get out, harass this kid, and unfortunately, he has the spine to decline their advances. Do you have to understand? Flip this scenario with anything, because I know it's hard for many bootlickers. Well, they probably thought he was a bad guy. That's why. It's very hard for them to see the light. So let's look at this from any other point of view. What happened if a group of men just came up on a woman and started doing that, touching her and grabbing her and be like, hey, what you got in there? Everyone, I would hope, would obviously have a problem with that. The same thing with a bunch of women who came out and just started harassing a dude. Hey, what you doing? Oh, what you got in your pants? The same thing, I would hope people would be opposed to that. So why is it that upon putting on a badge that gives you some magical powers to oppress and subjugate me, why is it then that everyone applauds and says, they're just doing their job. They're just doing the job. I'm sorry, didn't we have certain trials that argument of just doing their job wasn't sufficient? That wasn't sufficient in alleviating them from the culpability of their actions. So I'm trying to understand, where does this come from? Because I only see these arguments, I only see this perspective being brought up when it's black victims. Didn't see it for Ashley Babbitt, and she was definitely a criminal. I haven't seen it for any other white individuals. They are praising Ashley Babbitt. But this is the problem that we're facing in this country, where you have many of the white elites on the right who are poisoning the well when it comes to the tyranny that is going to happen, that is happening presently. And yet they are constantly gaslighting these people to think, oh, they stopping the black people, you know, the criminals. You don't have to worry about you. You're good, okay? You don't have to worry about yourself. You're fine. And that is what is allowing these gang members with badges to run amok, to absolutely terrorize the country. Because as long as they terrorize everyone else and leave me alone, I don't care. I'm good. Yeah, let's give them more rights. Absolutely. Let's give them more authority. Bruh, how does that have anything to do with the platitude they constantly want to promote, which is, you know, small government? We're for small government, not like the Democrats. We're for small government. How are those one and the same? Can someone explain that to me? You're constantly giving authority figures, law enforcement, more and more authority over you, who are nothing more than, you know, soldiers of the state, soldiers of the government. But yet you are constantly going out of your way to try to endow them with more power than they already have. And then they get to the Supreme Court, and then they give them more power. Well, actually, you can do this. You have qualified immunity. Absolutely, you can just stop someone, and the burden for probable cause is, you know, nothing, practically nothing. How does that embrace small government? How does that allow me as an American to live freely? It doesn't. Especially when you have the perverse mindset, well, if you're interacting with the police and the police have a problem with you, well, then you're a criminal. If they arrest you, then you're a criminal. Do you understand how that skews as far as the judicial system? Do you understand how that skews as far as people being able to have a fair and balanced trial? If that's the headspace of, you know, half of the country? Like, I don't understand how people don't see this, right? I don't get it, because it's befuddling to me, this cognitive dissonance that they have. But this is where we are. This is unfortunately where we are in this country, where we have bootlickers who want to have, you know, the blue line and at the same time have the American flag. Those don't go together. We wouldn't have this country if you were bootlicking, okay? That wouldn't go together. Everything that they advocate and preach and practice is a contradiction. You have to be like historically illiterate. You have to be un-American. You have to hate this country in order to bootlick. Anyone who is bootlicking and is not trying to remove, as far as the authority, qualified immunity, and the other privileges, especially when it comes to police unions, if they are not trying to remove that, then you hate this country. And you don't know what this country was founded upon. You hate the country. Just say that. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you believe, look, the police are all good, okay? The majority of them are good, okay? There are just a couple of rotten apples. Or if you don't believe, listen, I never understood that saying, that phrase. Oh, it's just a couple of rotten apples. Do you know what rotten apples do to the bunch? Like, do you understand? If no one points out the rotten apples, then that makes them rotten themselves. The whole system is corrupt. The people who are running the system is corrupt. That has got to change. There has got to be some reform. There's got to be some punishment for ill behavior. The same type of punishment they love to throw in our face. If you would turn you make a turn on a red light and it's not fully red, or it just turned red, and it's like, and they give you a ticket. When you stay in the parking spot for just a minute too long and they give you a ticket. I want that same type of scrutiny on people who have the authority to kill you and their word be evidence in the court of law. I want that type of scrutiny on them. But it seems like half of this country is just delusional and hateful. That's what it seems like. Nevertheless, if you happen to disagree, you're more than welcome to call in during Disagreement Day. You already know, Friday through Sunday, number on screen, call in. We duke it out. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think about this situation with the Jump Out crew, because I know I'm unfamiliar with it being out here in LA, but I know in Chicago and Boston and other areas that they're very, very familiar with people and they are violating people's rights. That's what it seems to be the case. But people have just gotten, accustomed to it. So I'm like, how do you fight something that you've grown accustomed to that you don't even know should not be happening? Oppression in the 21st century. Nevertheless, subscribe to the channel and that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing. More authority, more authority, more authority.